Hi, I'm Daniel, 32, and last month my girlfriend told me I was suffocating her, right before asking me to move out of the apartment I paid for so she could find herself. Let me rewind to the Thursday morning when I got the dreaded "We need to talk" text from Ashley. My stomach dropped before I even opened it. We'd been living together for nearly 2 years, sharing a clean 2-bedroom apartment, on paper, at least. In reality, I was covering 70% of everything while she played Instagram photographer and Venmo'd me scraps whenever she got paid. That night she sat me down with a rehearsed TED Talk on personal growth and finding her identity. Her eyes got all misty when she hit the climax. I just need to live alone for a while. This isn't about us breaking up, I just need space. I asked if there was someone else. Her offense was instant. This is exactly what I mean. You're always so suspicious. I need independence. Okay, Ashley. Cool. Then she said it, the thing that made my brain short-circuit. I found a studio downtown. It's perfect for my photography. I'll move next month, but since you work from home and can go anywhere, it makes more sense for you to find something new. She said it so casually, like she wasn't asking me to evacuate my own home. The one I'd lived in for 4 years, furnished, paid for, maintained. She wanted to stay in my place while I wandered off like a stray husband in a midlife crisis. I looked at her for a long minute. She looked hopeful. Hopeful. Okay, I said. I want you to be happy. She lit up like I'd handed her the keys to the city. Hugged me. Talked about how this would make us stronger. That Saturday, I rented a U-Haul. The look on Ashley's face when she came home from her photography workshop, which, side note, turned out to be brunch with her friends celebrating her brave decision, was straight up cinematic. She stood frozen in the doorway, shopping bag dangling from her wrist, staring at what was left of my apartment. Gone were my desk, my triple monitor setup, my home office. The living room TV? My gaming console? The coffee table I refinished during lockdown? All gone. KitchenAid mixer? Gone. Espresso machine? Gone. Even the damn shower curtain came with me. Why? Because I paid for it, and because, as she helpfully reminded me, she needed space. What are you doing? She asked, voice wobbling. I looked up from the last box of books I was loading. You need space to find yourself, I said calmly. So I'm giving you all the space you need. Her jaw actually dropped. But where are you going? Found a place. Month-to-month lease across town. You wanted to live alone, right? But I meant, I thought you'd stay here until I moved out next month. I blinked. Why would I do that? You said living with me was suffocating you. I'm solving that today. She followed me outside like a lost puppy. This is crazy. You can't just leave like this. Watch me, I said, slamming the U-Haul shut. What about the rent? It's due in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's between you and the landlord. Remember? Your name's not on the lease. Her face changed. Daniel, I can't afford $2,400 by myself. Maybe you should have thought about that before deciding you needed independence. That night the text started. This is so immature. You're punishing me for being honest about my needs. I didn't reply. She wanted space? She got it. Sunday morning, I swung by the old place to grab my mail and hand over the keys. The landlord was chill about the lease break, even thanked me for the 2-month penalty payment, and said he already had 3 applicants willing to pay more. Cool. Clean break. Ashley was there. And she looked like she'd spent the night crying on the couch in a room full of empty furniture. Please don't do this, she said, standing in the middle of the kitchen, hugging her arms. Can we talk? I nodded. We are talking. You made your needs clear. I'm respecting them. But I didn't mean right now, she said, voice cracking. When someone says they're suffocating, you don't just vanish. Actually, that's exactly what you do. You give them air. Immediately. She blinked like she didn't recognize me. Where am I supposed to go? I smiled politely. Didn't you say you found a studio downtown? Perfect for your photography? Her face fell. It's not available until next month. And it's $1,800. Sounds like a you problem. The utilities were set to shut off in 5 days. I'd already transferred my accounts. The place was about to be very dark and very cold. Monday morning, her mom called me. Daniel, sweetheart, Ashley's very upset. Can't you two work this out like adults? We did, Patricia. She communicated her needs. I respected them. She has nowhere to go. She has the studio. The one she picked out. Remember? Independence and all. You're being cruel. No, Patricia. I'm being exactly what she asked for. Absent. Wednesday, I got a text from her best friend Meredith. You're such an A*** hole. She's sleeping on my couch because of you. Didn't respond. Thursday, another from Ashley. The landlord says I have 3 days to leave or he's starting eviction. Please come back. I can't. I'm suffocating without you. Ah. The irony. Friday afternoon, security at my office called me down. There's a woman in the lobby. Says she's your girlfriend. She looks distressed. I almost laughed. Of course she found my office. I came downstairs and there she was, Ashley, standing in the lobby with smudged mascara, hair in a messy knot, wearing the same hoodie from Wednesday. She looked like every rom-com's rock-bottom montage. We need to talk, she said, voice trembling. I held the door open. You wanted space. Showing up at my job is the opposite of space. I made a mistake. She whispered. No. You made a decision. And now you get to live with it. Independently. Her mouth opened. Closed. The studio fell through. Someone else got it. Unfortunate. Meredith says I can only stay 2 more nights. Then I'm out. Better start apartment hunting. With what money? She snapped. I spent my savings on photography equipment last month. The equipment for your business that's building momentum? Use that momentum. She actually stomped her foot. Like a child. You're destroying us over one conversation. I raised an eyebrow. You destroyed us when you decided I was suffocating you but still wanted me to keep subsidizing your independence journey. That's not how life works. Her eyes narrowed. I'll tell everyone what you did. Please do, I said. Tell them how you wanted to live alone but expected me to keep paying your rent. See how that goes. Security stepped forward. Miss, we're going to have to ask you to leave. That weekend, the emails started. Paragraphs and paragraphs about how I'd misunderstood everything, how couples take breaks all the time, how she never wanted to break up, just breathe. I forwarded them to spam. 2 weeks passed. Then Monday hit. My phone exploded. Missed calls from Ashley, her mom, Meredith, even her brother Tyler, who I'd met maybe twice. Finally, I listened to one voicemail. Ashley sobbing. Please call me back. It's an emergency. I need your help. Against my better judgment, I called her. Thank God, she said, breath hitching. I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble? I asked, already regretting dialing her number. I wrote some checks for the studio, she said, voice small. For the deposit and first month. They bounced. And now the landlord says he's pressing charges for check fraud unless I pay everything by tomorrow. I blinked. You wrote bad checks? I thought my client payment would clear in time, she cried. But it got delayed, and now I owe $3,600 plus bounce fees and he's threatening to call the cops. I let the silence stretch. She sniffled. Can you help me? Please? I'll pay you back. I leaned back in my chair. With what money? From the business that's building momentum? Daniel, please don't be like this. I'm desperate. You wanted independence, I said. This is what it looks like. Her voice cracked. I could go to jail. Better call a lawyer. Independently. There was a long pause. Then, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm not doing anything to you, Ashley. I'm doing nothing. Which is what you wanted, space. She was quiet. Then she said something that made my blood actually boil. You planned this. You wanted me to fail. No, I said. I wanted you to succeed. You're the one who wanted me gone. You don't get to have both. I'll lose everything. You already did. When you told me I was suffocating you. But you still wanted me to keep paying your rent like some emotionally supportive ATM. I didn't, I just needed space. And now you have it, I said. All of it. I hung up. 10 minutes later, her mom started calling again. 3 voicemails in a row. How dare you let my baby go to jail? Real men protect women. Ashley is going to end up homeless because of you. Then Tyler texted, bro, just help her out. She learned her lesson. I stared at that one for a second, then replied, learned what lesson? That actions have consequences? Later that night, Meredith posted a whole Instagram story series about me. Accused me of emotional abuse, financial manipulation, and punishing a woman for having needs. She ended it with, some men show their true colors when women ask for basic respect and space. I didn't reply. But my buddy Kevin screenshotted the post and commented, didn't she dump him for suffocating her? Now she wants his money? Make it make sense. The comment section turned into a war zone. Tuesday afternoon, Ashley texted me. I pawned my camera gear. Got enough to avoid charges. Happy now? You got what you wanted. I hate you. I replied, you wanted space from me? Hate is just more space. Wednesday morning, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something told me to pick up. Is this Daniel? Who's this? Connor, the guy said, then cleared his throat. I'm Ashley's friend. Friend. Right. What do you want, Connor? Look, man, she's going through a rough time. Can't you help her out? I smiled. Why don't you help her out, friend? We're not like that. Not like what? Together? I said. Because her Instagram story from 2 weeks ago suggests otherwise. The one where she tagged you at that rooftop brunch? The one labeled photography workshop? Silence. Yeah. I said. I know about you. I know about the client meetings at your apartment. The lies. The timing. She said you were broken up. We are now. Congrats. You're officially dating someone who's broke, homeless, and very emotionally available. Still silence. Then a quiet click. He hung up. Thursday, I got a long, novel-length email from Ashley. She'd been confused. She said Connor meant nothing. She realized she'd made a huge mistake. She still loved me. She was sorry. She just wanted to start over. I didn't even open it. Straight to trash. Friday morning, there was a knock on my door. Not my old door. My new door. The one she wasn't supposed to know. There she stood. Hair unwashed, eyes red and puffy, wearing the same hoodie from days ago. Please. Just 5 minutes. I didn't say anything. Just stepped aside. 2 minutes. I messed up. I know that now, she said. Connor was. God, he was nothing. I don't even know why. It was just attention. Validation. I thought I needed to be alone, to live by myself. But I wanted you there when I was done. You wanted a safety net. I said. No. She paused. I wasn't ready for everything to be so real. But ready enough to take my money? She flinched. I didn't think of it that way. You never thought at all. I said. You just assumed I'd always be there. Wallet open. Bed made. Emotional support in human form while you found yourself. I love you. No. You loved what I provided. Stability. Security. A place to keep your gear. Someone to handle the real-life parts while you got to play starving artist without the starving part. That's not fair. Fair? I stepped closer. You told everyone I was suffocating you. You made me the villain. Then when I gave you exactly what you asked for, you made me the villain again. She started crying. Ugly crying. Please. I'll do anything. Okay. I said gently. Do this, leave. Don't contact me again. Figure out your life without me in it. You're serious? You wanted independence, I said, stepping back inside. Congratulations. You're independent. And I closed the door. The first month after I closed that door, Ashley went nuclear. She created this dramatic, weepy narrative online about how I'd financially abandoned her in her moment of growth. Meredith doubled down with daily Instagram stories about narcissistic abuse and weaponizing money to control women. It was a full-blown PR campaign. I half expected them to sell merch. For a second, I wondered if maybe I had been too harsh. Then Connor ghosted her. Yeah. 2 weeks after she was officially homeless, the same dude she torpedoed our relationship for wouldn't even let her crash on his couch. Someone, and I swear it wasn't me, leaked their text messages in Meredith's comments. Ashley begging Connor to let her stay with him, Connor responding with, "I'm not ready for that level of commitment." Brutal. But honest. The comments flipped immediately. Half the people who were calling me a villain were suddenly backpedaling like Olympic rowers. Ashley went dark online. From what I heard through mutual friends, she moved back in with her parents. Not voluntarily. Her dad, who'd co-signed her first apartment lease years ago, found out about the bounce checks and lost it. Made her get a full-time job at a camera store. Not freelance. Retail. Her Instagram bio quietly changed from photographer, creator, dreamer, to nothing. Meredith and Ashley stopped talking about a month later. Turns out Ashley had borrowed $800 from her, for food and gas, and couldn't pay it back. When Meredith asked for it, Ashley accused her of kicking her while she was down. She burned that bridge, too. Patricia, Ashley's mom, sent me one final email. Subject line, "You won." The body, "I hope you're happy." She's miserable. She cries every night. She lost everything because you couldn't forgive one mistake. I stared at that email for a minute before replying. She didn't lose everything because I couldn't forgive. She lost everything because she threw it away with both hands, assuming I'd catch it for her. I chose not to catch it. That's not winning. That's just choosing not to lose. Patricia didn't reply. 3 months after that final knock on my door, I ran into Ashley at Trader Joe's. I was walking down the wine aisle, grabbing a bottle for date night, and there she was, standing by the shelf with the cheap $4 wine she used to mock. Hair tied back, wearing a camera store polo shirt, no makeup, pale. She saw me. Her eyes widened. We stared at each other. For half a second, I thought she might say something. Apologize again. Ask for another chance? But she didn't. I just gave her a polite nod and kept walking. No drama. No explosion. Just silence. That was the moment it fully sank in. This was really over. The girl who once begged me to fund her journey of self-discovery now had to ring up batteries and cleaning cloths for soccer moms and aspiring TikTokers. She got exactly what she asked for, independence. She just didn't realize independence comes with bills, not applause. But here's where it gets weird. That night I got a text from Tyler. Her brother. The same guy who had once texted me, "Bro, just help her out." This time he said, "Hey man. This is weird, but I wanted to thank you. Ashley's finally started owning up to everything. The cheating. The lies. The fact that she expected you to bankroll her fantasy life while pretending to be self-made. She's in therapy now. Dad made it a condition for staying at home. Anyway, just wanted to say I'm sorry for the stuff I said before. You did the right thing." I stared at that message for a while. It didn't bring me joy. It didn't make me feel victorious. I wasn't smiling like some villain getting the last laugh. What I felt was peace. I didn't respond right away. I didn't know what to say. Not because I didn't appreciate it, but because for the first time in months, it felt like someone saw what actually happened. People love to romanticize a breakup when there's a clear villain and a heartbroken victim. But real life is messier. Ashley wasn't a monster. She wasn't evil. She was just immature. Entitled. A dreamer with zero awareness of what it takes to make those dreams sustainable. She wanted the aesthetic of independence, moody black and white selfies, quotes about self-love, latte art in a cozy studio. But she didn't want the reality, rent, accountability, actual solitude. She wanted to find herself, with someone else footing the bill. She wanted to play adult while I handled all the adulting. She wanted to be free, but only if I was there to catch her if she tripped. And when I refused to be the silent investor in her self-growth startup, she collapsed. Not because I made her, but because she had built her fantasy life on the assumption that I would never actually leave. That's not love. That's codependence dressed up as liberation. As for me, I'm good. The new apartment is smaller, yeah, but it's quiet. Peaceful. Nobody leaves dishes in the sink for 3 days claiming it's creative chaos. No photography lights in the hallway. No whispered phone calls with friends named Connor. I started dating someone new. Jessica. We met at my running club. She's grounded. Has her own apartment, her own job, her own opinions. She doesn't want me to complete her. She just wants me to be there. We split the bill on dates. We laugh a lot. It's easy. Refreshing. I drove by the old apartment last week. Saw a couple moving in. They looked young. Excited. Standing out front with their first IKEA haul, arguing over how to fit a mattress in a Honda Civic. I hope they do better than we did. I hope they communicate. I hope either of them thinks space means I'll do what I want and you'll keep paying the bills. A few people have messaged me asking if I ever regret how it ended. If I think maybe I should have been more forgiving. More patient. Given her one more chance. Here's the thing. I wasn't harsh. I was exact. She said I was suffocating her. So I gave her air. Immediately. She said she wanted independence. I gave her exactly that. She said she needed to live alone. So I moved out. She wanted to break free from what she thought was control, what was actually support. She confused kindness with obligation. Love with servitude. She didn't want a partner. She wanted a parachute. And I finally realized I didn't have to catch her if she jumped without looking. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone fall. Not to punish them. Not to watch them crash. But to show them that gravity exists. That actions have consequences. That life isn't a mood board, it's rent, and groceries, and emotional maturity. I wasn't punishing her. I was respecting her request. She asked me to disappear. And I listened. Thanks for following along. Time to go live my suffocation-free life. Peace out. It's been almost a year now. I didn't plan to think about Ashley anymore, not consciously. But the other day, I was walking through the park, earbuds in, just zoning out, when I saw someone setting up a tripod and a softbox by the lake. For a second, my brain autofilled the silhouette as her. Same stance. Same distracted way of fumbling with her camera bag. It wasn't. But still. I stopped. Just for a beat. Let the past flicker and fade again. She doesn't reach out anymore. Not since the Trader Joe's moment. Not since I gave her the cleanest closure a person can get, a door closed gently, finally, completely. Tyler texted me one last time a couple months ago. Told me she'd gotten promoted at the camera store, was now managing the social media accounts. Apparently she's taking classes at night, working toward a marketing certificate. He said she hasn't dated anyone seriously since Connor. He also said she doesn't blame me anymore. Not in therapy. Not to her parents. Not even to herself. He said. She finally understands. I didn't ask what he meant. I didn't need to. I already knew. Ashley used to think that relationships were a safety harness. Something to catch you when your plans failed. When you overestimated your timing or underestimated your rent. She thought love was a thing that waited patiently while you wandered off to find yourself. But real love? It joins the search party, sure, but it doesn't fund it while you ghost it. She wanted to leave and come back to the same open arms. But people aren't statues. We move. We change. We get tired of holding space for someone who's only visiting when it's convenient. I wasn't a villain. I was a boundary. And for once in my life, I held it. Jessica and I? Still going strong. She just got a promotion at her firm. We're planning a trip next spring, nothing fancy, just a road trip up the coast, some hiking, lots of bad diner coffee. She's not trying to find herself. She knows herself. And she respects the hell out of the fact that I do, too. Sometimes, when we're lying on the couch watching terrible Netflix rom-coms, she'll look at me and say something like, "You seem so calm. Were you always like this?" And I'll say, "No. But I learned." She never pries. She doesn't need the full Ashley saga. She knows enough to know I earned this peace. That every boundary, every hard decision, every slammed door wasn't about anger. It was about choosing myself, finally, fully. Ashley taught me something, in the end. Not about love. About self-respect. So yeah? Maybe this story doesn't have a wild twist ending. No revenge. No reconciliation. Just one guy, learning where he ends and someone else begins. Learning that, no, can be the kindest thing you ever say, to someone else, and to yourself. And living to tell the story? With the door still closed. And the window finally open.